February wasn't the greatest reading month. Let's start with the duds. I finished The Song of Achilles. I don't know if you remember in my January wrap-up, I said that I had started The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And I've adopted the whole like 3-book rule for an author, but I had to make an exception for this one because this was the second book by Madeline Miller that I just didn't get on with. I just didn't get the hype. I got bored. I kind of was just reading it to just say that I read it. Started Magnolia Parks. If you recall, this is one of the books I wanted, a series / books I wanted to start and read in 2025. And I DNF'd it 20% the way through. I just couldn't get over how these people are adults. I mean, they're 20-year-olds, but they're still adults. And they're acting like they're in junior high / high school. I didn't like it. I don't want to read a book like that. Let's go on to some of the books that I listened to. I listened to Know My Name by Chanel Miller. I have one sentence for you for this book. Everyone needs to read this book. It's an important story. If you don't know this story, look it up before you read it because it's trigger warnings. There are trigger warnings. The other book I read is, what is it? Into the Great Unknown. Is that what it is? It's the memoir from Lisa Marie Presley and her daughter, Riley Keough, who finished the book for her after her death. And I listened to this book too. It was heartbreaking. I liked the fact that there were they used tapes that Lisa recorded that they sprinkled throughout the story and throughout the book of her talking about growing up and her marriages and all this kind of stuff. And it's also narrated by Julia Roberts. So like when there aren't any recordings of Lisa, Julia Roberts is reading Lisa Marie's parts, so to speak. And Riley's also is narrating, and she sprinkles in her stories of growing up and stuff like that. It was an interesting story, but only if you really love reading other people's stories and listening to other people's stories, then yes, this is a book for you. But if you're also a big Elvis Presley fan, this is a book for you as well. The physical book I read, which was Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. If you know an Ali Hazelwood book, you know that the spice is spicing in this book, in any of her books. That's just kind of a common theme. Was this my favorite of hers? I can't say because I think I need to read her whole like oeuvre before I can say which ones are my favorite. But did I enjoy this book? Yes. Some books need an epilogue. This book did not need an epilogue. I would have been happily going about my day just theorizing about what happens to Elsie and, what's his name? Elsie and Jack. I wanted to fill in the blanks, but I didn't need to know 8 months later what they were up to. Overall, I will always enjoy an Ali Hazelwood book. It's the books that I did start. I am finishing up listening to Queen Charlotte, so you will hear my thoughts about that in March's wrap up. The other book that I started was Outlander. And should I tell you what my favorite book of February was? I don't want to use the word favorite for this particular book, but my best book of February was Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Hands down. And yeah, that was my February wrap up.